Sierra Pardo, Cameryn Jones, Blake Moy and Nikki and Cosme Guerrero gathered for a prayer service in Sutherland Springs, Texas. The day before, a gunman killed 26 people at the First Baptist Church. Todd HeislerThe New York Times. It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in Katy, Texas. Most folks were just getting back from church and returning to their new normal of assessing and rebuilding after Hurricane Harvey devastated their neighborhoods. I had been there on assignment less than 24 hours, following up with some families for a long-term story on the recovery, when a friend in Houston sent me a text. Todd, mass shooting near San Antonio. It's 2.5 hours away. Then news alerts started coming in, followed by a call from the national desk. The next hour was a scramble to find out more information while driving back to my hotel to pack and check out. Just days before, I had covered the truck attack in Lower Manhattan that had killed 8. Running from horrific news event to horrific news event has become a familiar, gruesome ritual. But adhering to my own philosophy for creating thoughtful, intimate images is no less important. Often I work on longer-term stories, like the Houston recovery piece on which I have been collaborating with Leslie Davis, who focuses more on video. This allows me to get into people's lives in a slower, gentler way. These in-depth stories are still about news, but they are more intimate and reflective because of the time I spend as a journalist gaining people's trust. Breaking news, on the other hand, is deadline-driven. I approach it with the same level of respect for those affected, but I am spending more time chasing down leads with reporters and less time making the person I'm photographing feel comfortable and understood. A quiet moment in Sutherland Springs 2 days after the shooting. Todd HeislerThe New York Times. I arrived just before sundown in Sutherland Springs, Texas, as community members gathered for a vigil in honor of the 26 churchgoers whom Devin P. Kelly methodically shot and killed. At the end of the vigil, a woman and the governor embraced in what was a prolonged emotional exchange. As I approached her to get her name, I quickly realized she was still in tears. The last thing I wanted was to make her pain worse. These stories are never easy to cover. There is an urgency to gather information and piece the story together, but at the core of it is human suffering. Sadly, I have seen this play out many times, but I must always remember that the people going through it have not. I know that, in the next 24 hours, dozens of satellite trucks will descend upon this small town. Memorials will begin to grow around the scene. And after the second day, people who are already struggling with loss and trauma will grow further exhausted by being asked the same questions over and over again. A vigil at Floresville High School for victims of the shooting at the First Baptist Church. Todd HeislerThe New York Times. It can be emotionally draining because you're meeting people at their worst. I try to be as respectful as I can. I try to give people space when they don't want to talk. But unfortunately, sometimes my presence is a bother, and a reminder of the magnitude of what they are enduring. Because of this, it is important to make images that go beyond grief and crime scenes. Step back. Give a sense of place. Show not just what a scene looks like, but, more important, what it feels like. Get what you need and move on. While most of my recent work deals with current events, I am usually taking a granular look at the lives of those connected to a larger issue: immigration, the opioid crisis, politics. When I do cover breaking news, I am looking for ways to explore the periphery, away from the media pack, to give a deeper sense of the situation. It's not always possible, but I'm usually assigned to news when there's an opportunity to find something that elevates the narrative without repeating what other news organizations are showing. 3 DACA recipients, Sofia Ruelas, left her sister Erica Ruelas and their cousin Marlon Ruelas. Listen to Attorney General Jeff Sessions' announcement about the fate of the program. Todd HeislerThe New York Times. Ideally, I will have a conversation with a photo editor or with the deputy photo editor Megan Loram about how I can uniquely contribute to the coverage. If I am not able to contribute meaningful visual reporting from my individual point of view, I am just adding mass to the media scrum that overwhelms communities in the news. The ubiquity of smartphones and high-quality cameras has made capturing the immediate aftermath of major news events more reliable. But thoughtful photojournalism goes beyond visual proof. I am also in search of something that gives the reader a deeper understanding of big stories. What results is often quieter, with, I hope, a richer and more meaningful takeaway. Keep the conversation going tonight at 7:30 p.m. at DuPont Underground in Washington, where the Times' deputy photo editor Megan Loram moderates a discussion about photojournalism with Todd Heisler and Leslie Davis. For more information and to purchase tickets, click here.